This is an old stagecoach depot hidden out in the middle of the desert. Very few people know about. Being restored. And to see sites like this, Ford sent us a vehicle to drive this week. And I bet you know what this is already. Stay tuned. Gonna rack up a lot of miles on this. Has a lot of miles on it already, actually. Well, after a very long wait, Ford finally sent us their new Bronco. Nice looking rig. The base price of these Broncos start around $31,000, where you get a 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, 300 horsepower, torque rating 325. Available with a 7-speed manual transmission or 10-speed automatic. Fuel economy rating last posted was 20 in the city, 21 to 23 on the highway, depending on what sheet you read, and the tires you get. This is the optional 2.7 EcoBoost, 330 horsepower, 415 pounds-feet of torque, 10-speed automatic transmission only, and it costs a lot more money, of course. The last EPA numbers I read for this was 18 in the city, 19 on the highway, but that was with small tires. And with this big rubber, 17 miles per gallon in the city, 17 on the highway, and 17 overall. Wow. If you're paying gas prices in California, I feel real sorry for you. Whenever we get a new vehicle, the first thing we do is check and see if there's a spare tire. Well, no doubt about that here. The second thing we do is take the headlights out and see how they perform. We're going to do that at the end of this video, so don't go away. Let's get to the price sheet. We don't have numbers on here. This is a factory prototype, but I do have a separate price sheet for you. Since this is an early production model, we don't have a price on the window sticker. But we did get a price sheet. Moving down with all the options. And going over to all the price tags, you have to fork up. And going down to the bottom line, $58,905. If you can find one at the dealer, and you can't, they're all sold out. Waiting list up to 6 months to a year, I'm told. Better check with the dealer for the latest info on that. You can still buy one on the gray market. Here we go on the web. $81,500. $74,000. I've seen some brand new going for $100,000. And here's the one just getting off the truck. What a bargain at $89,000. If you want to play, you got to pay when it comes to the Bronco. They're not selling them cheap at the moment. The extra money you're paying for the Badlands gives you a beef suspension, 17-inch wheels, these large tires, electronic sway bars, rubber floor mats, etc., etc. All the stuff you need for serious off-roading. And again, the decals, so everybody will know what you bought. You might notice how the mirrors are attached to the body, not the door, because the doors are removable. This hard top roof is removable, if you care to do so. And it also comes with a soft top roof, as I have stored back here. And all the harnesses and accessories that go with it. Or you take the soft top off, the hard top off, and just run with no roof at all. You live somewhere there's lots of grass, that's fine. Out here in the desert, I'm not going to do that. It would fill up the whole interior with sand and dust, and I don't like sand and dust in my cabins. If you want to, go for it. And under the floor here, a small storage compartment and the jack for changing a spare tire. Here's some very serious advice for you. If you get nothing else on this video, listen very carefully. Do not lose this plastic funnel. Don't lose it. If you run out of gas and want to use a gas can to fill the vehicle, you will need this. Otherwise, the gas can nozzle will not fit in here. Only the nozzle and the fuel pumps fit. Without this, you're screwed. I learned that the hard way. Don't lose this. Also, in the past, I've driven a lot of factory vehicles that had raised ground clearance, but got a standard jack that really wasn't capable of raising that vehicle with the extra ground clearance. I don't know if that's the case here, but just to play it safe, I would get a couple of cement cinder blocks or wood blocks to put underneath to make sure you have enough ground clearance to raise. Especially if you're going to do this in soft sand. But always carry wooden blocks anyway, regardless of the jack. Just a tip from me to you. Alright, let's look at the cabin. A very dinky glove box. Not much to put in there, sadly. They had more room to make a bigger one, but they didn't. Oh well. Simple climate controls. Simple radio controls. Pretty good thus far. Two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive high and low for off-road, and 4 automatic for the street. I repeat, 4 automatic is for the street, all-wheel drive. Don't use 4H for the pavement. You can destroy the four-wheel drive system. You probably already know that, some don't. And like Jeeps, the power window buttons are on the console, not the door. Same with the control for the mirror. Lots of grab handles. Yes, sir. For your passenger there. Another one over there. Even a grab handle on the dash for the driver. Hey, that's a good idea. Good thinking, Ford. A digital DH cluster. Seems everybody wants this. Now you got it. A traditional stick shift lever. I don't like these, but most people do, so here you go. And a large info screen. Now will give us a chance to look at fuel economy figures. The past 244 miles, 15.2 mpg. The past 1,529 miles, 16.6 mpg. Pretty close to the 17 claimed. By the way, this vehicle's been in the test fleet for over 9,000 miles, and a lot of people might think, yeah, that's not much. Yeah, it is for a factory test vehicle that's been driven off-road almost every day. Had the living tar beaten out of it almost every day. This would be the equivalent to around 90,000 miles for general customer use. Usually around 12,000 miles, these are taken out of service, and if they're production vehicles auctioned off, this one will probably be crushed, since it's a prototype. I'm sure they'll take the tires off before they do that. So it's had a hard life, yet there haven't been any mechanical issues to speak of. Seems to hold up pretty good. If you watch other YouTube videos on the Broncos with the removable roof, you've been hearing about complaints, creaks and rattles, but guess what? When you have a roof that's in multiple pieces, and doors that are removable, you're going to hear creaks and rattles. It's the nature of the beast. It has nothing to do with the quality control. I will say, though, I've driven this for a couple days and haven't had any creaks or rattles yet. Might change when we get off-road. Oh, by the way, I like these rubber mats with the drain plugs. Definitely geared for off-roading, that's for sure. Hose it out. Okay, first half of the video is over. Show and tell. Second half, we're going out and do some driving. By the way, most of the web pages tell you the Badlands package comes with 33-inch tires. By these measured, these are 35 inches, giving 11.5 inches of ground clearance, according to the factory. So I think we'll be more than capable off-road. There's a list of other packages available if you get on the Ford website: the Big Bend, the Black Diamond, the Outer Banks. Check it out and see what works for you. When driving the Bronco, comparison to its competitor, the Jeep Wrangler, is an obvious choice subject. Let's start with the steering. If you've ever driven a Wrangler, you know their steering sucks. It's only bland in the middle, wandering all over the road. Not a problem with the Bronco. Very precise steering. Very easy to stay centered on the lanes. Score one for the Bronco. As far as wind noise, it's a toss-up. There's a lot more decibels going on outside because of this boxy shape, but the vehicle seems to be more insulated, so it's a bit quieter on the inside. But whether you do the Bronco or the Wrangler, you're still not going to have a nice, quiet ride, so that's just the way it is. However, I must admit the roof is reasonably quiet considering it's removable. It'll be interesting to see how quiet the hardtop version is. And number 3, the ride quality is definitely smoother and quieter on the Bronco compared to Wrangler. No doubt about that. Okay, I just did a highway trip, 109 miles, and when I was cruising at 75 miles per hour, cruising is the cruise control on, I was getting 20 mpg, but I was kind of in a hurry today, turned the cruise control off and passed everybody, so it dropped to 18.5, but considering the size of the vehicle and the power, not too bad. At least better than what the EPA claimed at 17 mpg. That's what I was told. So let's figure official mpg is 20, but for our purposes 18.5. Now time for ranch patrol. I have to inconvenience myself by getting out and opening the gate, but maybe one of our workers will do it for me. Another advantage here over the Jeep Wrangler, the Bronco doesn't beat you to death when you're going off pavement. Certainly a lot smoother, which is surprising considering these monster wheels and tires I have on here. We seem to have a front drive camera I didn't know about. Interesting. I haven't had much money on my Patreon account this month, running low on gas money, so I think I'll take these trailers and this motorhome, put them on eBay, start the bidding at $1,000 a piece. I take Bitcoin. Driven by a little old lady who only took it to church on Sundays. You take the Bronco on a very hard surface, you're going to get rattles around the roof, but that's what happens when you get a removable roof. Just part of the design, nothing to bitch about. Don't like it? Get a solid roof. Some off-roaders like manual transmissions when they're driving in deep sand, keep a constant gear, but you have manual override on this 10-speed automatic. I got locked in second gear, so since you have a manual feature on the automatic, no reason crying for a manual transmission, right? This does both, automatic or manual. Best of both worlds. You know, the more I drive this Bronco, the more I like it. The Ford engineers did a great job on this. Definitely did their homework. I'm going to pause for a second and talk about what's under the hood. As a rule, I don't really care for Ford EcoBoost engines myself. I won't get into why, but this 2.7 is a real gem. Definitely one worth having. Just as quick as the larger 3.5 EcoBoost, puts out more torque output, and the bottom end is the 5.0 V8. It gets fuel economy with the base V6 found in the Ford trucks. All the advantages of all three, without the disadvantages. And the reliability of the 2.7 seems to be pretty good if you take care of it. Overall, this is a very nice motor. This is the one you should really be getting if you're getting the Bronco, I think. Alright, 3.5 hours of off-roading. Half in four-wheel drive, half in two-wheel drive, 14.6 mpg. Seems reasonable enough to me. Usually before I go off-roading, I put a thick coat of wax on the paint to protect it against scratches. I didn't have time to do that for this trip. And I was really worried that all these thorn bushes I was getting, brushing up against the vehicle for my 5.5 hours of off-roading was going to damage the paint, but nope, not a scratch. Ford did a very good job on paint quality on the Ford Bronco. Not a scratch to be seen. So after a week of driving, what's my take on this new Ford Bronco? Well, whether it's better than Jeep Wrangler or not, that'd be a whole separate video. Got its advantages and disadvantages, but as far as the vehicle itself, I'm very impressed. Of course, I had top of the line with all the goodies, I should be. How the base Bronco with a 4-cylinder 7-speed manual is. I haven't had one yet. But I think it's safe to say Ford has a winner on their hands. Alright, after all that four-wheeling, the vehicle's all washed and squeaky clean. Let's take these headlights out. They're squeaky clean in the dark and see how they perform. Okay, it's dark enough. Let's take a look at these lights. Right now I have the low beam on. Looks like the upper half. Now the high beam, upper and lower half. Here's what the taillights look like. Big enough. The emergency lights, certainly bright enough here. Even with the taillights on. Won't miss these. Pretty good up here in the front too. Here's what the camera system looks like in the dark when you put it in reverse. Seems a bit fuzzy to me. I don't know why, I just got out of the car wash. The instrument panel. Not much else lights up. It's pretty stark in here, but that's what you want. If you remove the roof, you don't want a lot of rain and debris getting in here, so they keep it pretty simple. Here we have the low beams, only well 100 feet away, or 33 yards. Definitely good height, but the vehicle has a lot of height, so it should be. Decent spread. High beam. Certainly strong in the middle. And here we have the high beams on a fence 80 yards away, building 130 yards away, and the security guard wandering around lost as usual. Go to low beam. Reaches out adequate enough. Got them all confused. Overall, the headlights are more than adequate. Nothing to complain about. Strong engine. Yes, sirree. And I see we have some impressive lights under the outside mirror to light up the area outside the door. I'm pretty sure this is an expensive option.